Good evening and welcome to yet another exciting, inspiring, and bold session from PinkTalk brought to you by Pinkish Foundation. Today, I will not begin with the routine announcement of asking you to stay till the end of the session for your chances of winning the best question and best comment. Because today, your motive should be different. And as much as we will be declaring our winners for best question and best comment, today, you must strive to make a change within yourself through this special guest. Acceptance and adaptation. These are two very important parameters when it comes to growing yourself individually through any problem or crisis. Further on, I'll define the term courage. It is the mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. All of these three combined can help us fight any situation. First, to be courageous enough to accept, and then using the two, conquering the situation. It might be a little difficult to understand since this is something I'm simply stating. However, today's guest is an actual testament of this thought, and she defines courage, acceptance, and adaptation in a true sense. Please welcome with me today's guest, Ms. Navi Indran Pillai, a braveheart and a cancer survivor who truly believes what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. She is presently living in Malaysia and is an advocate for living with cancer. She documents her journey on her Instagram account and has a following of 18,000 people. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us today. It is an absolute pleasure to have you with us. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I loved how you actually elaborated the whole acceptance and adaptation part of it, and putting in the courage side, and also venture, persevere. I loved how we can elaborate that those two words, or those two acceptance and adaptation, to so many wonderful positive words, and that's so wonderful. I'm good, thank you very much. How are you?
Ma'am, I'm doing well. I'm super excited for our session. So I think we should begin now. So,
Yes, let's do
yeah.
this.
So, ma'am, I'll begin asking my first question. How has your experience been throughout with cancer? So, basically, when did it all start and how did you progress through your condition?
Okay, so it started in 2013, which was 8 years back. And it started off when I was just 22 years old. And I felt a lump on my left breast. And a normal 22-year-old wouldn't be so alarmed with just having a normal lump on her breast. It could be a benign tumor. It could have been because of hormones and little polyps and things like that. But unfortunately, when I got it checked, it was yet cancer. And I guess at that point of time for me, I didn't understand the severity of cancer. Based on my knowledge on cancer at that time, it was just it's only about like the only thought that came to me when I thought about cancer was death, because I guess in movies they dramatize cancer so much, like it's never about living, it's always about dying. And that scared me. That scared me a lot. And I really thought, okay, this is it. Like, that's it. I don't have a life anymore. I'm just preparing myself for that. But as I went through the treatments, so I went through chemotherapy, I went through a surgery, I did a lumpectomy, I did radiation. I was on hormonal therapy, oral hormonal therapy at that point of time. I began to understand that there were more than just thinking about dying. There's so many things that came along with that journey, and it was a different kind of thought, really, because at that point of time I was like, okay, this it as much as horrible it sounds, it's actually, it wasn't that bad. Like so long that you put your mind and soul to it, and that's what I did. So yeah, so I believe that my journey was just like an ongoing thing. And then in 2018, 5 years later, I had a relapse, and the cancer had spread to my liver and my backbones. And again, my world came crushing because, 5 years of not having to go through any cancer treatments was just hormonal oral pills that I was taking at that point of time was horrible indeed, because I was like, okay, here we go again. But at that point of time, I think my approach was much more different, because I decided that that 22-year-old girl was alone. I had to go through it by myself, because my family members didn't understand what cancer was. They were seeing it in a third party point of view. I there was having to go through everything, had to understand it in a different level. So what happened was I started to document my journey on social media, and at that point of time, social media was like the in thing, and it was like the trending app, like Instagram and Facebook and things like that. It was just like a boom, and I decided to use the platform to document my journey and to actually show people what cancer really is, and to change the stereotype about cancer. Now, a lot of us think that cancer means death. Cancer means you are preparing yourself for death and things like that. But I wanted to show people that cancer is not about dying, it's actually about living. And so I came up with a few hashtags, which is Kissed by Cancer, because I wanted people to look at it very positively. So and then so I did a shoot. I did few shoots. I think my biggest fear was losing my hair, so I did a shoot bald. A few shoots actually. So one of it was just me coming out bald. A few shoots later, I came up with the Bold Indian Bride shoot, collaboration together with other vendors, and then I just kept going on. I kept documenting it. I kept showing that instead of dying with cancer, start living with cancer. So yeah, that was a few quotes that I came up with along the way. So then my journey didn't stop at that. In 2020, I was again diagnosed with a relapse cancer that was in my brains. And then it kept going on. Even this year, just recently, I had to go through another round of radio surgery for my brains because the cancer kept coming back. But I think, I'm just taking it a day at a time and moving forward.
Ma'am, I feel that's a very interesting thing that you told us that, showing something which is usually perceived in such a negative light, how cancer is always associated to death in every movie we see. It's like as soon as they say cancer, it just means that you're going to pass away. This is obviously something that we need to change. And I think, ma'am, you're doing a great job by working in that direction with the hashtag kissed by cancer and
Thank
all
you.
of those, useful steps. I think that's great. And yeah, everything seen in the positive light definitely changes our perspective towards things. So
Yes.
ma'am, I'll use that as a segue to my next question. So what all avenues and opportunities did you create for yourself, and how did you not let the disease stop you from being the person you want to be?
I think we shouldn't let anything stop us. It wasn't just for my disease. I take things in a very general aspect. So when I document my journey, I use a lot of general things. Like for example, when I'm feeling depressed, okay, because alongside cancer treatments, there's a lot of physical and mental trauma that comes with it. So I'm not ashamed to say that yes, I am actually battling somewhat of a mental, or I would say a little bit of a depression here and there. But I think just trying to channel your thoughts in the right direction by actually doing the things that you love. So for me, I always try to find things that I love doing, find things that brings joy to me, and find things that makes me happy. So a day maybe if I like to cook, And if that day I feel like cooking and that gives me joy, I cook like a feast. Okay. And then if that day I don't feel like doing anything, I just feel like just snuggling up in bed and just lying down the whole day, I would do it. I allow myself, my body to feel whatever it wants to feel. And I acknowledge that. Okay, so today I'm not feeling up for it. And I acknowledge that and I say, it's okay. I don't, if I have the energy to actually push myself to do something physical, I would. I would just get up and go to the gym, or I'll go walking in the mall or something like that. But if I'm not, I won't push myself too much because I just don't want to put that much stress on my body. And just to see what you're capable, that at that point of time your capability is, and acknowledging it, and actually by the end of the day saying that, yeah, good job, you did this. I think a lot of us expect to do so much in one day, and that's when you start losing yourself. But I think even if you do like 1% of the whole entire day, and you do something that's just 1%, it's okay. Give credit to yourself, and that's how it kept me going. I would try to channel out the negative thoughts. Although it's there, I acknowledged it. I would say, okay, I know today I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling up for it, but I acknowledge that. So how am I going to channel that into a ball of positive energy? So I would do something that is beneficial for my mind, body, and my soul. So I do things that I love. I would shower myself with love. I would do things like, I would even like take a shower. Like I would seriously go to the shower and just sit in the shower for like half an hour, just showering, like just sitting under the shower and just be like, cleansing it out. So I would do something like that. So yeah.
Ma'am, I think that's such a that's a very beautiful thought that you brought in. A lot of times, because of so much of work, so many deadlines, schedules, we do not end up taking note of those really small things that matter so much, and
Yeah.
we're just living for the heck of it. And then when things like this happen, they give us a moment to realize and go through everything once again to actually
Yeah.
enjoy life to the fullest.
Exactly.
So
And a lot of us are just really stuck in like the past or in like the future. They're not like at present. They're not at the exact moment, Either you're lost in the past or you're like trying to find the future. But you fail to realize that you are in the present, and when you're in the present, you actually enjoy everything in the present. And I would say that, sometimes I am lost in the past because I start to be like thinking about it and talking about it, and then you start to lose yourself, and then after that you bring yourself back and like, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy today. I'm not going to get worried. I sometimes get anxiety thinking about the future, like, oh my god, I'm turning 31 and I haven't done this, I haven't done that, but then I'm like, I try to gather myself and be like, no, 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 I'm okay. I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I'm happy at where I'm supposed to be. So yeah.
ma'am, I feel that's so important, being happy where you are and being
Yeah.
in acceptance. I think that's how we probably just bring in the concept. So definitely, ma'am. So again, just to follow up to what I asked you, ma'am, what was that one thought process? How would you summarize that one thought process which basically propelled you to keep going? Something that we all can probably, capture in our lives. A thought process, basically.
Yeah, I think I fell upon a lot of like quotes that helped me through. So I think just keeping it real, keeping it very real. So if like, for me, I kept it very, very real. So like in my head, I would just tell myself that, you know what, you're doing good, you're doing amazing, just keep going. The days that I feel like, yeah, not so much, I just tell myself like, yeah, it's okay, you don't do anything, it's fine, just sit and just relax, because you're, so I guess I really didn't have so much of a thought process, but I knew that every day I went through, like every day is like a step. It was a process. It was a step taken to wake up and to be grateful. So I guess in that sense, I would say I just realized that okay, today is a happy day, so I'm gonna do this, but I'm not gonna push myself too much, and I'm just gonna go with it, go with the flow. So that would be something that I do, and hopefully people actually do that as well. Just take it a step at a time, set small goals, and then just tick off as you go. Write down, you know, yeah, just write down a checklist and like, okay, done, okay, I'm done with this. Yeah.
That is great, ma'am. And I think everyone have their own stories, their own lives. We're all struggling with something or the other in our own lives. So I think something aligning to what we want to do, not pushing ourselves too much at the same time, enjoying things as it comes. I think that is the true essence of life. And you're able to help all our users, all our audience, I basically identify that. So that's great, ma'am.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll be going to our next question. So basically, ma'am, looking at all of the things we discussed till now, I would request you to define courage in your own terms, in your own context. And how do you think having courage managed to change you and help you to come in terms with, the condition, with the whole cancer issue that you felt? What kind of a role did courage play to basically soothe it all out for you?
I think courage is something that is in all of us. Courage is the meaning of overcoming a fear, overcoming a setback. That's courage. For me, I think the most courageous thing I did was to come out bald, because that was the most hardest thing that I ever had to go through. Yes, not the treatments, but it was just the side effect, which was losing my hair. And it's still till today the most hardest thing for me is to go through the hair loss. So for me, I think courage came to me in a way where I was like, I'm gonna walk bald. So overcoming it is accepting that this has happened to you. So courage is about accepting what has happened to you. Courage is about going through it, and not looking back and saying, I wish this didn't happen to me. I think courage is about accepting, adapting, and just going forward, and acknowledging that this has happened to you, that this is a new thing that has happened to you, and that you're going to overcome it. So that for me is courage. Courage is actually just acknowledging what has happened, and not just throwing it under the carpet and burying it and pretending that it has never happened to you. A lot of us women go through so much. Not just women, I think people go through so much, and they're like, they want to hide things that has happened to them. Like, oh no, it has never happened to me. But deep down it has. And I think courage is about um, owning up to it, owning that yes, it has happened to me. I have done it. I did it, and it's okay. So courage can be seen in so many different ways, but one thing is courage is about overcoming your fears.
Ma'am,
So
I
yeah.
think as soon as you defined courage and you spoke about, how it has basically the way it has transitioned your life, or the way you've imbibed your courage and you've been able to change things. I mean, a lot of people in the comment section as well, and even myself, I do feel like courage plays such an important role, and you've managed to inspire so many people in the process. So you talk about courage. When I hear that you've done something courageous, I feel like doing something courageous, and I feel
Yeah.
that is a positive wave that we also need to share with everyone.
Yes.
That
And
is a yes.
yeah, and I think courage is in so many different ways. It doesn't mean that if your courage is different, then it's the way you do it. For me, it was walking out ball. That was something very that to me was my proudest moment, or my proudest, most courageous moment, was to be able to shoot, do a shoot bald. I wore a lenga bald. I dressed up like a bride bald. And yeah, so I think it's just doing things to overcome the fear. That's courage.
Right, ma'am. That is lovely. Uh, I think we all need to be courageous and just take on life the way it comes. Ma'am, my next question is that what was your mantra of fighting cancer and staying strong? Courage is obviously a part of it, but what was that one mantra you stood by every day, and how can our audience apply it in their everyday lives?
Yeah, so I actually stood by one quote and one quote only, and it's in a song, it's in everywhere. You can, yes, it's what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So, yeah, that's just one thing that I stood by from day one uh, when I got cancer until today. It's one quote that I live by. Um, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So whatever you do, even if it's in your exams, even if you fail your exams, it didn't kill you. So don't worry, it's going to make you stronger. You're going to do better. You're going to do even more, better than you did the last time. Um, Even if you lose a job, you're going to get a better job. Like, it's okay. I think this quote is something everyone can relate to. It's not just somebody who's going through cancer, going through an illness. It is anyone and everyone that is going through a setback in life can relate to this. So, yeah, this is the one mantra I tell myself every day. There are a few things that I also live by, like, live and start living, rather than, you not doing things for others, trying to make others happy. Do things to make yourself happy, because this is your life. And only you can make yourself happy. Only you can live your life. We only get this life once. So why can't we just live and be happy?
Right, ma'am. This quote, I mean, has resonated amongst, I mean, all of us. I do remember this. I mean, I was very touched to this quote for a while. I still do remember. So
Yeah.
definitely, ma'am, I think these are those small things that, give you the hope to continue to keep going. And I think words do inspire us. People inspire us. So yes, ma'am. We'll be
Yeah.
taking a couple of questions from the audience. So there's a
Yes.
question by Maya Maheshwari. She asks, there is a lot of negativity among people about cancer. They take it as a contagious disease, by which the one who is battling this disease starts to understand himself very little. How to change the mindset of people?
Okay. Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful question, Maya. Um, this is actually really, really true. A lot of people are very, very embarrassed about cancer, and I don't know why. Because, truth to be told, the first time around when I was diagnosed, um, we kept it quiet. Not many people knew about it. I didn't document my journey or anything. But the second relapse, when it happened in 2018, was when I decided to post it up. But I don't know why people are so embarrassed about cancer or any type of illness. They're like, oh, don't tell people. Oh, no, 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 you can't, you can't. And I guess more than anything is that they're not educated about the disease or the illness. They don't know. We need to spread more awareness, and that's what I'm trying to do as well. Like, we need to educate the people about it. It's just that they're not they in the unknown. They don't know about it. They think it's bad, and they think it's contagious and things like that. So if people are more open to learning about the disease, because why I say everyone needs to know about cancer is because all of us are human, and when you're human, you're automatically at risk of getting cancer. It doesn't matter if you're young, you're old, your ethnicity, your religion, your where you're from, you're rich, you're poor, it doesn't matter. If you're human, you are at risk of getting cancer. So everybody needs to know what are the risk factors, what are the symptoms, what are the treatment plans, what are the um, uh, 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 types of cancer that people are prone of having, the top 5 cancers in the world, the top 10 cancers within women or men and women, those kind of things, which they are all in denial. Everyone is in denial in this world. Everyone thinks that, no, I can never get cancer. But truth to be told, if you're born, the moment you are born, you are at risk of getting cancer. It is whether your luck, if it's triggered by smoking or drinking or something like that, family history, genes, things like that. So I think in a way we all need to be vigilant about this illness, because we all have cancer cells, and it's either if it's activated or not. So instead of us being embarrassed about it, we should be proud and trying to educate people to get to be ready or to be in the known. If this happens to you, what are the treatments that you can go for? What are the options that you have? And I think in today's modern world with medical technologies, cancer is something that can be lived with, and with so many medical equipment and stuff like that, you can be diagnosed at an early stage. If you go for regular checkups, you speak to your regular doctors, and they can advise you accordingly. So I think in that sense that I broke the stereotype. There's a lot of us actually breaking the stereotype and trying to speak about it and trying to come out and talk and really really advocate about living with cancer, and um, not looking at cancer as negative as people think it is.
Right, ma'am. I think we all, obviously, I think we can derive a lot of value out of it. Again, I think it depends on how people treat it as well,
Yeah.
making sure that you make the person loved, letting them be, giving them their space, basically. I think these are things that are pretty important when it comes to, if you're taking care of someone, or someone with cancer is around you. So
Yes.
definitely, ma'am, those play a very important role. And at the same time, what I've seen usually is that we end up being over careful about them, or we must understand that everyone wants that one freedom, that one individuality to live with. I think that is something we should identify and we should imbibe and take care of. So,
Yes.
ma'am, there's another question on the chat, and this is by Ria Singh Verma. She asks, what types of challenges might a person face after receiving a cancer diagnosis and going through treatment?
There's a lot of challenges that we face when one is exposed to cancer treatments and going through cancer treatments. A lot of physical changes. You go through a lot of physical changes. Your body doesn't feel the same as it used to be. You feel more lethargic, tired. Um, you also go through a lot of there's a long-term post-chemo side effect that you will have to live with, and I think at the end of the day it's how we manage our side effects, how we uh, go through it. So I had a lot of challenges. Losing my hair was one thing. I get tired. I'm very, very tired. I'm very emotional. It's like not only physically you're affected, mentally you're affected. I'm very, very sensitive. I'm very, very angry sometimes. I have mixed emotions. I have headaches. I have body aches. I have days that I just don't want to get out of bed. But again, it's how we manage any illness as well. The post side effects are there, but it's how we manage. So I try to manage it as well as I possibly can. I try to go on my daily routines as normal as I can. I do a lot of, I try to do a lot of exercise. I try. Um, that is not. I hope it works out. This whole me with my physical activities, but it's just really tiring sometimes. So I don't push myself so much. I don't be too hard on myself. Um, yeah. So your body changes a lot. Like I really see how you can like I can put on weight very easily. But I also try to keep a healthy lifestyle. And then you have like cravings. You have sometimes you used to like the food and then you're like, nah, I don't like it anymore. A lot of ups and downs actually that comes with it, but you find new things that your body can do and you're like, wow, you're just mind blown with the way your mind thinks and how your body accepts it and how your body and your mind actually adapts to this whole situation. It's amazing. It's like you're newborn, you know and your whole body is different, and you start to get to know your body. You start to feel the difference, and you start to like the difference. And I think that's how I had to cope with my challenges, and coping with it. But I'm also enjoying the journey as it goes, as much as people may say, oh, like, oh, poor her, they sympathize. But I'm like, no, I think I'm doing great. I think it's really, really fun to look for new things and really love your body as what it is. Yeah, your mind and your body.
Right, ma'am. I think Ria can benefit off of it, and we all as well. So, ma'am, coming back to our conversation, I wanted to ask you that is there any experience or situation that you would like to share with us which created a significant impact in your story, or something that completely changed the way you viewed cancer? A certain significant, experience or situation or something of that sort that you'd like to
I
share with us, ma'am?
Yeah, I once had a dream. Okay, it's not a very happy dream. It was kind of scary. It was a dream where I was literally laying in a coffin and my family around me. As much as it was a very traumatic dream, it was a dream that opened my eyes. I saw my loved ones actually crying around me. And I was like afloat. I was like I could see everything that was happening. And it was so scary because I knew that if I don't wake up from my dream, then the last time I saw my mom actually smile was years ago, you know, because once I was diagnosed, it was really hard to see my mother smile. And then I knew that that was my purpose, to not allow her to see her smile, and not see her cry, because I saw it in my dream that when she lost me, she was just distorted in every way, and I knew that that was my purpose. I was like, I'm not going to allow this to happen to my family. And that was one of the courageous that the one the main thing that gave me that a fighting spirit, was just because I didn't want to see her cry. I mean, I know she still does, but at least I know that, I'm there to like say, hey, I'm still here, and I like, don't worry, and make her smile and make her laugh again. So yeah, that was one thing that something really traumatic happened to me, and I think I have to thank God, of course, for helping me or giving me that dream, because I don't know if I would have made it till today if it wasn't for that dream. But I'm I mean, I think in this journey, when you are given that kind of opportunity to see that, um, I think changes your whole perception on life, and you start to see that life is really actually very, very short. And we all spend it worrying about the future and trying to correct your past, and not realizing that that's the present that we are forgetting to live, because you're always thinking about the future, and you're always trying to correct your past, and then you forget to actually be at present, and then when it happens, it's like a cycle, and then you just like, hey, where did yesterday go, where did the time go? I'm like, that kind of thing. So yeah, so that, I think that is something that I'm privileged to have gone through. And I think few things that made me realize that life is just really about you doing the things that makes you happy, and doing just what you think is right for you. Um, a lot of people are rather like, uh, being in an Indian, our parents always have these expectations that, oh, my daughter is going to be the doctor, lawyer, engineer, something, and then when you say, no, I want to do something else, and then your parents go like, oh, but why, like, no, we have this dream because, and then you ended up just going and being like, yeah, I just want to make my parents happy, and but what happens to yourself? So there's always a way to convey the things that you think that makes you happy to your family, and that's what I did when I was coming out with my story on social media, because they were of course not happy about it, and their concern was, oh, how are you going to get married? How are you going to find someone to marry you? And when people, I'm like, my husband to be is going to know that I'm battling cancer, and if we cannot accept that, and then it's bye bye to him. So, and then mom was like, yeah, I think that's correct. I'm like, yes. So I think I can understand in that sense. So I tried to talk to her, of course, and she was not very happy, but I explained to her why I had to do it. It was not for me as much as it was for, yeah, it was for me, yes, but it was also to help the public, the society, the world, to look at cancer as a whole different thing, and just to give them hope, actually, just to say that, you know what, you can live. It's not a death sentence, so don't worry. I did it. You can. Yeah.
Ma'am, that was really, I don't know, it gave all of us, food for thought. Yeah, I think a lot of times we don't even appreciate the people around us. I think we need to take a minute and, basically tell people who we, I mean, people who we care about, we must tell them that we love them, we must appreciate them.
Yeah.
And I think above all of that, as soon as things change within us, the change,
Mm-hmm.
there's a change outside of us. So
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, I
Yeah.
completely agree to that. And
Yeah.
ma'am, I think you're
Perfectly
doing a
said.
great job. Yeah, ma'am, I think you're doing a great job with,
Thank you.
coming and educating all of us about it.
Thank
We
you.
don't really, hear a lot of such stories, and whenever we do hear, it's not in such depth and in such detail. So, ma'am,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that experience. It's amazing, ma'am. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ma'am, now there's another thing that I'd like to ask you. Any message, finally, any message that you would like to convey to our audience when it comes to acceptance and adaptation, especially when you're fighting something as dangerous as cancer?
I think we all are somewhat always in denial when something bad happens to us. Either we blame others or something that happened. Oh, it's something that you did. It's something that this person did, or it's something wrong that I did, or but it's I think it's just really about accepting it, that it, okay, this happened. Okay. Recently I was in a car accident, and I was mortified, like I was just so traumatized, and I started to think, what happened, why did the motorbike just come and put a sudden emergency brake right in front of me, and this and that and this and that, and failing to realize that I had to accept that what has happened, and I had to just tell myself that, okay, you have met in an accident, and before you sort yourself out, check on the other person, because the other person is the one that has gone through a worse impact. And then from there, although of course at that point of time I couldn't get my thoughts gathered, and then that's fine. And then when I got my thoughts together, that's when I started to talk to myself. It took me about 2-3 days to really get it together and tell myself, okay, this happened. What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? So, and then adapting. I think realizing that having a car is so convenient for us here, and not having a car is so hard. So I had to adapt to that. So I think that's like a perfect example of this scenario, because not all of you understand cancer as much as how much I understand cancer, and not and some, maybe some of you who are cancer survivors would understand what I'm trying to say. So I think my take home message here is just be at present, accept everything that is happening to you in your life, and focus on adapting to the situation and taking small steps at a time. A lot of us make this huge mistakes of setting goals that are like 5 years in advance. No, why go 5 years? 1 month in advance, when you actually can do set small goals, one day at a time. So today, what's your task like? And then complete it. And then if you don't finish your task, it's okay. Carry forward to tomorrow, putting it at the topmost priority of your task, and then going through that, and then take it a day at a time and set small goals to achieve the bigger goal. So you can set like a main 5-year plan, and then after that have like your little plan. But most important thing is to enjoy that journey that takes you to that goal, to that main goal, and not forgetting the little lessons that you learn, and enjoy that journey. Don't get stressed over it, and even if you get stressed, try and gather it together into a small little box, and just tell yourself that, okay, I'm going to try not to stress it out, and I'm going to put the box aside, and I'm going to gather it, get it all together. And even if you're not, getting it all together, just take a deep breath, sleep on it, or do something else, and then come back and attend to it. When you attend to something that when you're so stressed up, it often doesn't work, because you're putting that energy into whatever that you're doing. So, taking a 5-10 minutes break, or a half an hour break, or a 1 hour break, or a day break, and coming back to it with a good cleansed energy, and then doing it again, often helps. So always just live happily, and live for yourself, because you are living this life at once. So live it fully.
Right, ma'am. I think live in the present is how it all should be, and I think that's a very important point that you highlighted, ma'am. And I'm sure everyone have understood this. Ma'am, again, we'll just take up a few more questions before we
Yeah.
close. So
Okay.
this next question is by Anita Gupta, and she asks, "How did you keep your willpower strong during this journey, ma'am?"
Hi, Anita. How do I keep my willpower strong? Sometimes I really don't know. Sometimes I honestly just feel that we all have this power in us. We are so powerful. I kid you not, like, I have learned so much about myself through this whole journey, through this 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many time that I've battled cancer, lost count. But through this all, I realized that the human body is amazing. The human mind is so powerful, and only if you just unlock it a little bit and watch how much your body and mind is so capable of doing so many amazing things, trust me, you will have the same or even more willpower than compared to me. I think everyone is so amazing that way, and how I kept it real was just doing things, um, little by little, day by day, not pushing myself too much to it, and allowing myself to feel whatever I want to feel. So that was how I managed to keep it all together. So if the days that I'm just feeling off, I just snap. Okay. And the days that I just feel great, I feel great. Um, but yeah, so just try and keeping it all together, and uh, yeah, just thinking about your loved ones, I think is something that is close to my heart. So when I just close my eyes, I just think about my mom. I see her, I see my boyfriend, I see my father, I see everyone, and that's what I want to see every day. So
Great, ma'am. I think that is how we must keep going ahead, and that it's lovely hearing from you, ma'am. Our next question is again from Maya Maheshwari, and she asks us, ma'am, what is your dream which you have not yet fulfilled and you want to fulfill it?
I think I always had a dream of getting married. Ever since I was a little girl, I used to just dream about the day that I marry my best friend. And that is, I don't think that's a dream. I think that has always been my one of my biggest achievements is to marry the love of my life. And I'm hoping that it's soon. I'm hoping that it's coming soon. But yeah, I think that is just something that it's always in me, and everybody has different goals and different achievements and different dreams, and mine is just to sit next to my best friend and be with him for the rest of my life. So yeah.
Ma'am, that is really cute. All the best, ma'am. I mean, yeah. Uh,
Thank you.
so, so, and ma'am, now we have another question, which says that so this is by Seema Maheshwari, and she asks, "What was the most difficult time during this journey for you?"
I think the most difficult time was to try to think about living. At that point of time, I think so many things was coming into my way that I couldn't gather my thoughts and put it all together. A lot of negative thoughts were coming in, and thinking that I would never see my mother ever again was one of the hardest thing that I had to go through. And but the most difficult time, again, I tell you all, I kid you not, okay, was losing my hair. That was like the hardest thing. I know people are like, but ma'am, it's just hair. But yeah, for me, that was the hardest thing that I had to go through, that I was never happy to go through. And when my doctor said, yeah, one of the side effects of chemo would be losing your hair, again, I was very, very angry with him. I was saying, no, I don't want to do it. But I did it. So yeah.
Ma'am, I mean, I think it's all just those small things that come in the way, but then to continue to
Yeah.
keep going is all that matters. And
Yeah.
with that, we
Very
we
true.
we go, yeah. So, ma'am, with that, we go to our next question, and this says that, ma'am, cancer is said to be another form of death. This question is by Tina Gupta. It
Mhm.
destroys the person who happens, as well as to whom it happens, as well as the whole family becomes mentally weak. We are one. How can we help a person suffering from cancer by strengthening his will?
Um, so yes, very, very true. Cancer doesn't just affect the person who is being diagnosed. In fact, it affects the family and the friends, the close friends and family that is around them. I think the worst part is just that they're so helpless that they cannot do anything. They think that they can't do anything, but actually giving the most support to them, doing the things they love together with them. So, for example, when you're with a person who's going through cancer treatments and who's been diagnosed with cancer, make it fun for the person. So my family used to bring Monopoly, and we used to play Monopoly while I'm actually going through chemo treatments. I would be so tired, but I'm like so into the game and laughing and joking with them that it was so much fun that I didn't think about that 8 hours passing by. And being just there, present with them, you know, is the best thing ever. Making them laugh, doing the things that they love to do, giving food that they love to eat. Because the most important thing is for them to gain strength. Not saying things like, oh, like suggestions that is going to upset them. Oh no, you can't eat this. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. Because they are human. We are all human. So the moment you say no, it's a negative energy already. But you can say, yeah, okay, we'll do that. Can we have that later? But for right now, let's eat this first, or something like that. uh, Giving them positive energy. By saying positive quotes, it's just going to go in there and come out in there. Trust me, I've gone through it. At that point in time, we're the most stubborn, most irritable, most we feel annoyed at that point in time because of the drugs, because of the chemo drugs. So what you need to do is you need to handle the situation by giving positive energy. So how do you give positive energy? Is you just laugh and smile and just laugh and say the funniest jokes, watch the funniest movies, keep their mind occupied. So that's just how you have to keep going. Do a lot of research as a support to someone who is going through cancer. Do a lot of research, but keep it to yourself. Don't give another person another headache to have to think about, oh, so you know what, because you did this, that's why you got cancer. Don't say things like that. Don't say things that, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be eating. Give more positive stuff. So do your research, have your own research about it, and then but keep it to yourself. And then when the time comes to tell it to them, say it in a more calming or a suggestion. Hey, you know what? Have you heard about this? So you know what? I checked this out. Do you want to give it a try? No? Oh, that's fine. It's okay. That kind of thing. So yeah, a lot of times we try to be doctors because we want to help, and that's fine. I totally understand that you're just concerned about your family member, but a lot of times that you're actually not helping. You're actually adding salt to the wound. Sorry, but yes.
Right,
um,
ma'am.
it Cancer patients are very sensitive, so you have to be very, very, very careful. Something that you mean well can turn into something that is, yeah. So you have to be very, very careful. So my best bet is just keeping it, trying to keep it positive. You need to be strong. You need to support by giving positive energy. Do fun things, paint.
That's
Yeah.
great, ma'am. That's great. There's another question, I think, and I think this is our last question. It's quite a good question to end with. And it says, ma'am, how, so this question is by Riya Singh Varma, and she asks, ma'am, how do you deal with negative thoughts and negative people in your journey?
So everything we do, there's always going to be haters. I have my fair share of haters. I've received a lot of negative thoughts. So a lot of people have come to me and said, "Oh, she's using her cancer for to become famous. She's using her cancer to sell herself. She's using her cancer to these kind of things." Or some even say that, "Oh, she's faking her cancer because she's not bald." A lot. I have had a lot of negative comments, but when you start to have haters in life, means you're doing something right. Always remember that. When you start to have negative comments, it means you're doing something right in life. In life, that you can't please everyone. There are people that is going to try to take your shine away. So don't stop shining. Keep going. And this is what I tell people. Um, there's nothing to be famous about when it comes to having something that is taking a lot. of energy, taking a lot from you. But my thing is, I'm genuine and I'm doing the right thing by educating people, by showing people, and just by one thing, just giving hope to them, and telling them that cancer is something that can happen to you. I have to be blunt and I have to be truthful. Cancer is something that can happen to you, to your family members, to your friends, to anybody, because we're humans. So if God forbid, I don't want anyone to have this disease. I don't want anyone to go through this. But if you're destined to have it, at least you have a profile where you can go and turn to ask for help. Whereas me, I didn't have anyone to go to and ask for help. So that was what I didn't want people to go to feel alone. Because you're not alone. There's a lot of platforms now you can go to. So just throw out the negativity. Let people say what they want to say. And sometimes that it affects me, but I have my loved ones to tell me otherwise. And I'm sure you have your loved ones to tell you otherwise. So turn to them if you feel sad, because it's only human to feel sad when a negative comment comes to you. I know I do. So what I do is I turn to my loved ones. If I don't have the mental capacity to handle the negative comment, and they'll tell me how wonderful I am and how wonderful and whatever that I'm doing is amazing. So I take that. I take it from the people that loves me, and that I feel most comfortable.
And ma'am, I mean, the right people will never discourage us in life. I think we just need to appreciate all the good people in our life, stay with them, help them, grow, be with them. And I think that is just how it is. So, ma'am, as we come to the end of our session, first of all, ma'am, thank you so much for being so calm, so patient with us, and for
so fast. It's 1 hour.
I know, ma'am. I mean, it's a little sad that the session is ending because it was lovely talking to you. But, ma'am, as a token of gratitude, we would like to present you with a gratitude certificate on our behalf. So we'd like to bring it on screen. I think it'll be here shortly. Yes. So, ma'am, we present this to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now it is time we announce our best comment and best question. So, ma'am, according to you, who gets the best question for today?
Everyone gets the best question. Unfortunately, I only can pick one. I wish I could say everyone's questions. I think I wrote some of their names down, like Maya, Ria, Anita, Tina. Am I missing anybody else that I think there was one more that I didn't manage to write it down. Yeah, even there's Asha Sharma who says, how do we keep ourselves stress free? Just do the things that you love. Okay, I'm just quickly answering. But I think I love the first question about Maya Maheshwari actually asked. And the question was, hang on, it was the first question that was asked.
About the ma'am, I think it's on the screen. So
there's
we'll
a lot
find
of
it
negative.
here.
Yeah, this one. And how we shouldn't be thinking about cancer otherwise. But yes, this question really, really was something very different. So yeah. Congratulations, Maya.
Congratulations, Maya. Great job. That's why, today there were a lot of questions that came in. Everyone was so happy. There's such a positive vibe in the whole comment box. So now, and ma'am, so now we will also move to announcing the best comment. And for that, we have Mr. Raffle to help us with it. So, Mr. Raffle, who is the winner for today's session? Congratulations, Asha Sharma.
Congratulations.
So Maya and Asha are our winners for today's session. And with that, we conclude. So I would like to conclude by saying that you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and twice as beautiful as you'd ever imagined. We
Thank
should not
you.
let cancer or any other obstacle, manage to, sell ourselves short or forget our worth. We should become the reason someone smiles. Share the love you receive from your close circle. It could be your mother, father, sibling, friend, child, significant other, or even your pet, rather. I think these are all people who build us so much. And I think those are the things that make life worth living at the end of the day, the love that we
Yeah.
receive from people.
Yeah.
We bid adieu now. I request everyone to stay at home, follow COVID 19 appropriate behavior, and to take care of everyone around you, including yourself. And tune in every evening to witness a transformation in you through our Pink Talk sessions. Thank you very much, everyone. Jai Hind, and have a good day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Do
Thank
follow
you.
my IG.
Yes, follow Ma'am's Instagram.
Bye.